मंत्रालय के केंद्र मंत्री श्री भूपेंद्र यादव जी, माननीय राज्य मंत्री श्री कीर्तिवर्धन सिंह जी, माननीय सचिव, माननीय विशेष सचिव एवं अपर वन महानिदेशक श्री रमेश पांडे, विभिन्न राज्यों से आए चीफ वाइल्ड लाइफ वार्डन्स, मंत्रालय के वरिष्ठ अधिकारी, CASFOS के अधिकारी, IFGTB के अधिकारी, मैं आप सभी का आज इस कार्यशाला में स्वागत करता हूं। आगे बढ़ने से पहले मैं मंच पर उपस्थित सभी से अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो दीप जलाकर आज की इस कार्यशाला का शुभारंभ करें। I'll request Ruchi Badola ma'am to kindly facilitate the process. स्वागत संबोधन के लिए मैं आमंत्रित करूंगा अपर वन महानिदेशक वन्यजीव श्री रमेश पांडे जी सर।
Very warm welcome to all of you. Respected Honorable Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Bhupendra Yadav sir. Honorable Minister of State, Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Kirtivardhan Singh ji, sir. We have on dais Secretary, Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Director General of Forest and Special Secretary to the Government of India. A very august gathering in front of me. TG, IPCA, members of the NBWL and NTCA, Director WI, Chief Wildlife Warden and PCCFs of the state, Additional Director General of Forest from the Ministry, CEO CAMPA, Member Secretary NTCA, officials from the different ministries which have joined for this workshop, especially from the Niti Aayog, Science and Technology, Ministry of Railways. I can see the scientists and field officials from the Tamil Nadu and Forest Department and other department, scientists of the Wildlife Institute of India, and ladies and gentlemen. This is really very important day for all of us. The reasons are two. Number one, that this is a stepping stone for taking the center of excellence to the next orbit, and we'll take the opportunity to get that center of excellence on human wildlife conflicts gets rolled on through this workshop. And the second is that in the time when the country is growing with very good economic growth rate, and the society has an aspiration of economic growth at the same time maintaining the ecological security, how we are going to meet the challenge of human wildlife conflict. So this workshop is going to be very, very important, interactive, and giving us lot of insights and ideas for the future. Sir, it's a really matter of proud and privilege for all of us that you have spared time today. It was a very old wish, I would say that, and you were also insisting that we should get this program held in Coimbatore, because this is the seat where the second WI is situated, and today that day has come that when we are going to roll this functions out, and you have always guiding us, giving your both philosophical and practical inputs on subjects which are very, very critical and contentious. So we are privileged to have you here with us, sir, and I welcome you on behalf of the entire team. I'm also grateful for the presence of MOS, sir. We keep interacting him. He had a very long history of spending time in jungles with his father in Shikar days also, and knows wildlife very deeply, and have read a lot about books, areas, and have visited across the globe. He takes very keen interest in the wildlife subject, and at the same time, since he has a very long political career, he keeps talking about the concerns of the people, and this is the subject which is of importance for all of us, that on one side we have to talk of conservation, but on the other side we have to talk of community. So sir, your presence is very, very valuable for us, and we'll love to hear to you on this subject, sir. I would welcome now to Sakti, sir. I would say, sir, that the complex, the best part what we get out of you, sir, that how to thrash out the complex issues and get all of the issues segregated and go dive deep and reach to the rock bottom, so that we are clear in our thoughts, and we are clear in our perspectives of things. So that input, sir, had always been very, very useful, and very, I would say that it has been a learning, sir. DG, sir, is our guide and advisor, very considerate and kind. I would say that we take a lot of privilege, sir, and sometimes we go above board, sometimes we don't even brief you, and you always accommodate us and keep guiding and supporting us. You have been a buttress, I would say, sir, for all of us. I welcome you on the dais, sir, and in the program. We have with us Yadav, sir. He has been a mentor, I would say that, won't say friend, but philosopher and guide for all of us, sir. Today we have a very resource constraint. So I see you in front of me. वो एक धृष्टता है, sir, उसके लिए माफी भी चाहूँगा. So I welcome you, sir, for this workshop. Your guidance has always been very useful for all of us. Ravi Singh Saab, Mr. Bhatnagar, they are veteran, I would say, and their presence is really meaningful for all of us, sir. I welcome you in this workshop, sir. I would say for this workshop, the role of Wildlife Institute of India is very, very important, and I'm happy that Director WI and his team, K. Ramesh, Dr. Bivash Pando, Ruchi Badola ji, all were very forthcoming in devising and designing the program. So I welcome you on behalf of the ministry and also behalf of the rest of the teams. Chief Wildlife Wardens, PCCF officials, especially the host state, I would say, Reddy Saab and Dogra Saab. Special thanks is extended to both of you for your august presence in this meeting. I cannot go for individually and welcoming all of you, but my heart goes very warmly for your presence, and I look forward to hear from all of you and get the inputs which I personally feel are very, very important. As I underline that now world has started talking of coexistence, and we had been practicing since ages. So it's a very, very challenging for a country like India that how we are going to deal this subject. And probably, as sir has been underlying, that the science is not only the relevance things to discuss, but the social science and the human dimension in the wildlife conservation is becoming more imminent and more, I would say, concerning topic for the department and the officials. So it's a great honor for me to welcome you all, especially honorable minister sir. आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. हम आप सभी की बात सुनना चाहेंगे. शुक्रिया, धन्यवाद.
Dhanyavad, sir. I would now request Director, Wildlife Institute of India to felicitate the Honorable Union Minister and the Honorable Minister of State. I request Dr. K. Ramesh to kindly felicitate the dignitaries on the dais. Thank you, Director WI and Dr. K. Ramesh. I would now take this opportunity to invite Director WI, Dr. G.S. Bharadwaj, to give a presentation on the Center of Excellence for Human-Wildlife Conflict. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Bever. Very good morning to all of you. On the dais, Honorable Union Minister, Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Bhupendra Yadav sir. Honorable Minister of State, Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Shri Kirtivardhan Singh sir. Secretary, Mr. Environment and Forest, Government of India, Shri Tanmay sir. DG and Special Secretary, Sushil Awasthi sir. ADG Ramesh Pandey ji, Director General IBCA Dr. SP Yadav Saab, Shri Ravi Singh ji, Bhatnagar Saab, all Chief Wildlife Wardens, PCC Hoffs, Member Secretary and TCA, ADG, and all esteemed guests of this workshop. As we know, India conservation initiatives over the past several decades have achieved remarkable success and have become very globally recognized models for species conservation. Because of Project Tiger, the significant increase in tiger over the past 2 decades, the strengthening of conservation efforts of elephant, Project Elephant, and the ambitious reintroduction of cheetah to India. It reflects the Government of India's sustained efforts, commitments to wildlife conservation. It is supported by effective policy interventions and dedicated management on the ground. While India is endowed with extraordinary biological diversity, it continues to experience a significant increase in human-wildlife conflict across several landscapes. Human-wildlife conflict is expected to increase in the coming years, as we all know, due to expanding human populations, changing in land use patterns, and habitat fragmentation, and that is resulting in increasing interaction between humans and wildlife. Even the communities living in conflict-prone areas face persistent challenges, and that affect their livelihoods, safety, economic well-being, and physiological health. Even I'm talking about bee people, forest officers. 3 decades back, when we joined Indian Forest Service, we kept hearing that save tigers, save wildlife. Now, after serving for 3 decades, now we are hearing some also other voices that save from wildlife, save from tiger. That's increasing everywhere. Today, because of this consequent human-wildlife conflict, the management of this issue has emerged a very national priority for the Government of India, for the managers, for the implementing agencies, state forest departments, and researchers, and for local communities too. Addressing that challenge, it requires very scientific vigor to understand the ecological, socio-economic drivers of conflict and to develop evidence-based multidisciplinary solutions using modern technologies, data-driven decision-making, and collaborative approaches. Recognizing this very need for an integrated institutional mechanism to address these challenges under a very, very common framework, the Center of Excellence of Human-Wildlife Conflict was established under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister of India. The Center of Excellence of Human-Wildlife Conflict will be implemented by Wildlife Institute of India, SACON, that in Coimbatore, has already initiated its work. It has already prioritized different landscapes for the project implementation in collaboration with state forest departments and other stakeholders. To provide further details on the vision, objectives, and ongoing programs and our future roadmap of our Center of Excellence, I invite Nodal Officer for Center of Excellence, Dr. Ramesh, to give a presentation, a small presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Minister of State, respected Secretary, respected DG Forest, respected additional ADG Wildlife, all the leaders of the conservation community and forest officials, scientists, ladies and gentlemen, आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार, वणक्कम. Sir, the vision started 2 years ago with Honorable Prime Minister, and actually it started taking ground with your visit to Wayanad, sir. So this is how this whole journey of the Center of Excellence started. So Wayanad is a place where we've been experiencing the conflict consistently. So with the direction of the Honorable Minister, so SACON is supposed to be established as a kind of hand-holding institution initially with the kind of strategies or issues that we are facing. So it has now become a Center of Excellence on human-wildlife conflict to look at larger focus across the countries. So, sir, basically, there are a lot of course, as Director mentioned, the paradigm has changed from conservation to balancing conservation and the community interest. But communities as well as forest officials, they've been working very long, and then a lot of success stories are there. But there are many gaps from knowledge-based gaps, technology gaps, many of them are there. So therefore, without taking details on this, so with your guidance and vision, the Center of Excellence has been established. But we wanted to underscore this particular vision, sir, that was again articulated by you. So we need to focus on the people. Therefore, we can conserve wildlife as well as people. So the vision of the Center of Excellence will be to secure life and property of people and wildlife, taking the people-first approach. So deviating from what generally we tend to hear from the wildlife communities. So we do have two goals, sir. One is to prevent deaths, injuries, which is generally people want us to do. And more importantly, also to keeping no conflict zone as a no conflict zone. So this is another important thing that we are conscious of the fact that we need to do this from the beginning. So the Center of Excellence has got 6 major components and cutting across all those requirements, I feel, because we've been working in the field for several decades as a wildlife institute, even myself being in the wildlife field for the last 3 decades. So we have kind of devised in the consultation with the field officers and senior officers, the ministry, including ADG Wildlife, because the steering committee is guiding us. So policy and advocacy support is one of them. And the knowledge base, sir, yesterday also you said in our society meeting that we need to look at more science-based knowledge base. So this particular Center of Excellence do have a component on spatial analysis, knowledge management. So one of the output that will also be released today. So then focusing on the technology has always been a demand from across the quarter. So we'll be looking at the integration of technology as one of the major components, and stakeholders, because I think human-wildlife conflict is more about people, because it was done by the people, faced by the people. So engaging stakeholders are very critical component that will be addressed as a part of this Center of Excellence. So capacity and skill development, of course, it has to go hand in hand. So this capacity and skill development is specifically focused on the human-wildlife conflict. It will cut across multiple stakeholders and we'll be providing input wherever. So the research components also is a very integral part of the Center of Excellence, the action research and long-term monitoring, because this is a feedback loop we need to constantly keep seeing and see what's going on and then provide the feedback to the field managers and keep supporting them. So these components do have various outcomes, sir. So I will basically go very briefly on this. So in terms of the policy document, we already have this National Action Plan, sir, but unfortunately, we have not been able to take it to the field. So now there is an opportunity through the Center of Excellence to look at all the National Action Plan SOPs and do a review, because many states do have their own policies and things like that, to kind of bring and standardize certain policies, learn from other states. So this Center of Excellence will focus on that. So one of the critical thing under the policy also trying to explore the opportunity to come up with a human-wildlife conflict or interface management fund, so that we can leverage other support system and provide a direct support to the field. And not the Center of Excellence will develop the fund. It's basically the Center of Excellence will support the states to see how we can develop those funds so that they can use this. And stakeholder advocacy will be regular ones. And in terms of the spatial and knowledge management, so we'll be focusing on data collection dashboards, sir. I think some of the things that we've been able to achieve. Of course, our Center of Excellence started, although it's approved and our manpower recruited in March, April, but in the last 2 months, we've been accomplished quite a few things that one of it is also developing the portal, which will also be released today, sir. And the mapping and data analysis. I think this is where we are now collaborating with the BISAC. So I think it's been amazing collaboration so far, and they do have resources. So we will be focusing on mapping and all the knowledge base. And tracking and prediction has been the demand by the field officers also, because so far the conflict management, all the data is more about hotspot mapping, but that only provides what has actually happened. But what is required is more like climate prediction. We also need to look at the prediction tools, so see where the conflict is likely to happen in the future. The Center of Excellence, through research and integration of the data and the technology, will be focusing on tracking those conflicts and also trying to predict, so that field officers can be prepared, even planning for the finances in terms of even that compensation mechanism. Otherwise, so far it's mostly reactive. And technology has been one strong area that we have been working as a Wildlife Institute and SACON and many other institutions, sir. But now we have an opportunity, even IITs, others, they're all working. But we now try to focus on integrating all these institutions. So bring all the technology, put in place, maybe handhold them and then scale up. And stakeholder engagement is something that we planned, going multiple languages, awareness materials and social media outreach, getting into youth volunteers, and some sort of recognition awards also being thought of, and then also come up with the planning visualization tool, so that this particular activity can be taken up to the Gram Panchayat, GPDP, Gram Panchayat Development Plan, maybe at the future it's the District Development Plan, so that we can integrate many of this action into the mainstream governance. And building and capacity building is a very important thing, sir. That is what we've been focusing on. Research and monitoring has been one that we have been doing, sir. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on what we have done so far, sir. And since the last 2 months, so we've been able to focus on one workshop and some data dashboard has been done, review publication and some concept note. We also worked on action plan, sir. We have, under the guidance of steering committee, we have produced these progress workshop, dashboard and some of the knowledge product. And the roadmap, sir, we have visualized the roadmap into the 5 years plan, and which focuses on establishing ourselves as a strong force and then demonstrating the field and scale up and institutionalize and lead. And we focused many of these in the multiple areas. And also focusing on, sir, taking forward as a demonstration, we identify some action landscapes, starting with the Wayanad and Gudalur, and similarly other landscape where our Center of Excellence will also directly work with the field officers and focus on, sir. So the priority landscapes are identified based on certain criteria, and many of them will be cross-cutting, and the expected outcomes are supposed to focus on policy, data, technology, and habitat and capacity, and these outcomes are also being specified in our document. So with that, the collaborative agency we have State Forest Department, BISAC, and National State Institution of Rural Development, and universities and other institutions will be our major partner. With that, I want to thank you for the opportunity, and thank you once again.
मैं अनुरोध करूंगा माननीय मंत्री श्री भूपेंद्र यादव जी को कि सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस ऑन ह्यूमन वाइल्ड लाइफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को का बटन दबा के उद्घाटन करें। धन्यवाद सर। In today's day and age, data and information is power. Identifying critical gaps in the human-wildlife conflict information and data available in the country, the Ministry, through the Center of Excellence and in collaboration with BISAG-N, has developed an online human-wildlife conflict data portal, which will gather and collate information from across the country and help us in prediction, forecasting, as was presented in the previous session. I would now request Honorable Minister to kindly launch this human-wildlife conflict portal developed in collaboration with BISAG. Thank you, sir. Since the inception of the COE on human-wildlife conflict, we have made efforts to document the existing status of human-wildlife conflict in India through various sources, be it published journals, peer-reviewed literature, be it open source information, be it popular articles. So towards this end, the Center of Excellence on Human-Wildlife Conflict has come out with a document on the current status of human-wildlife conflict in India as an overview. I would request Honorable Minister to kindly release this document on this occasion.
The document Current Status of Human-Wildlife Conflict in India, an Overview, is the first edition of such a publication. Based on initial screening of over 6,000 published records, it integrates evidence from over 600 publications and over 1,400 media-reported conflict incidents and government records. It identifies major conflict hotspots, key conflict species, regional knowledge gaps, and existing mitigation efforts. Building on this foundation, the COE HWCM is determined to develop a comprehensive national knowledge base for sustainable human-wildlife coexistence.
धन्यवाद सर। मैं भी अनुरोध करूंगा माननीय राज्य मंत्री पर्यावरण, वन एवं जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्रालय को सभा को संबोधित करने के लिए। सर।
थैंक यू। यहाँ पे आज आए हुए हमारे आदरणीय केंद्रीय मंत्री श्री भूपेंद्र जी, सेक्रेटरी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज श्री तन्मय जी, डायरेक्टर जनरल एंड स्पेशल सेक्रेटरी श्री सुशील कुमार अवस्थी जी, हमारे एडिशनल डायरेक्टर जनरल श्री रमेश जी, डायरेक्टर वाइल्ड लाइफ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंडिया श्री जी.एस. भारद्वाज जी. This is an eminent gathering of scientists, knowledgeable staff and foresters, and also very experienced officers. It would not be wrong for me to say that the who's and who of the Indian conservation efforts are gathered here in this hall today. And it's a matter of privilege for me to be here amongst you on this very important event when we inaugurate the Center of Excellence for management of human-wildlife conflict. All of us have been working long and hard towards the objective of conservation of wildlife. And we have many experienced people here. Not to downplay the sacrifices that have been made by our frontline staff who have risked their lives, paid with their lives towards this end. And the result has been much better than we have expected. Our conservation efforts have resulted in a high numbers of our endangered species. We have managed to save them, conserve them. And it is a great success story that we often talk about it not only in India but in international forums also. जो हम लोगों का कंजर्वेशन एफर्ट अभी तक चलता था isolated areas में, वो under the guidance of our Honorable Prime Minister, now we have come down to very specific programs, very specific policies for conservation. ये action plans for habitat conservation, for species specific flagship programs, reintroduction of species such as the cheetah, and also the conservation of the great Indian bustard. These are initiatives that have really set apart our conservation efforts in this country. And in initiatives ka jo success hai, behind that success of these initiatives lies the sustained scientific guidance from people such as you, a very strong institutional support, and also the coordinated implementation of these programs. And with our success in conservation has risen this new problem of human-wildlife conflict. There are two ways of looking at it. One is from the purely scientific academic point of view, which of course this center will do that. But there's also the other side where we should see it, we should understand it from the point of view of the people living in these forest fringe areas. उनके सामने क्या दिक्कत आती है? How do they face it? How does it affect their livelihoods, their lives? And I can tell you for a fact that it's not just a conservation problem. It's also translating into a socio-economic problem. From where I come from, we have large forest areas. इसके बगल जो लोग रहते हैं, गांव के लोग, what has happened is because they cannot protect their crops, now they have almost given up on farming. And if they have given up, how do they get their livelihoods? They become exploited by these unscrupulous elements, jo jungle who engage in illegal felling of trees. They get into drinking habits. Their children, instead of going to schools, are now employed as laborers. And that is magnifying this social problem that we are facing there. So that is the other aspect of your human-wildlife conflict. It is not just injury, not just deaths, but this much larger problem which affects livelihoods over a longer period of time. और इसको खत्म करने के लिए we'll have to approach it in that sense. We have to, like I said, we have to see how a balanced approach can be made between conserving animals, saving animals, safeguarding animals, and also safeguarding the livelihoods of the people which are affected by this conflict. We are making great progress in the development of our country in infrastructure projects, road, railways, etc., etc. And it is very encouraging that in all our developmental projects, we have a strong thought, a strong focus on how we can also, how we put in conservation measures, how we can also plan for animal corridors, how can we make sure that our animals are protected from railway lines, from collisions, from electrocution, and these have become a part of our programs now. But again, till now, our human-wildlife conflict management also was done in isolated areas, in isolated pockets. And this is where the Center of Excellence will have a very important role to play as a national hub for technology validation and its use, as capacity building of not only our officers and our field workers, but also the local community. Without the local community's participation, we cannot hope for success in this conflict management. And the other very important part, which our Honorable Prime Minister has always stressed, is preservation of our ancient knowledge, of our traditional knowledge, its documentation, its preservation, and what we can learn from the traditional knowledge that our people, especially our tribals, our forest dwellers, have always possessed. And there will also be a National Human Wildlife Portal, as I just saw in the presentation. And I feel it is a very important step that we have taken to standardize a platform for real-time incident reporting, hotspot mapping, and also evidence-based policy formulation that will be required if you have to face these challenges successfully. There will be a national workshop on human-wildlife conflict today. And this is a good opportunity to exchange knowledge, share experience, also the best practices from our policymakers, researchers, and the field workers. So, I want to also highlight one more important aspect of conservation. Environment today occupies a very important place in all international forums, from the UN to many other bodies. आज आप देख रहे हैं, आज हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी न्यूजीलैंड गए हैं. Before that, he was in Australia. He got a very warm welcome. In the past decade or so, we have achieved great success in making much better relations with other countries in the world. Our foreign policy outreach has resulted in showcasing India not as a backward country anymore, but as an economic force, a rising force to reckon with. Environment has become a very important factor in soft diplomacy today, in soft international diplomacy. और बहुत सारे इनिशिएटिव्स हैं आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के, चाहे वो इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस हो, इंटरनेशनल बिग कैट अलायंस हो, CDRI, Lead IT. These have propelled India onto the center stage of environment and conservation. And even the steps that we take in our country today for mitigation of human-wildlife conflict, these examples are, I think, one of the leading examples in the world. I get to visit many countries in the world, especially African countries, and they always want us to teach them what we are doing in this field, not only conservation, but also conflict, because conflict, human-wildlife conflict, is becoming a increasing problem for not just India, but many other countries, especially the African countries. And this is where I feel that the center will play a very important part, not only to form solutions within the country, but you can hold international conferences, we can engage in capacity building of other countries also. And in that sense, when we talk about Viksit Bharat, when we talk about our international presence, we can, through this very important research and other programs that will go in the center, we can become the guiding light for other countries also, to how to not only take forward the conservation programs, but also addressing this human-wildlife problems that is now erupting all over the world. So, in that sense, I would like to congratulate the Wildlife Institute of India, the Central Academy for Central Forest Services, and other partner institutions for your contributions in setting up the center, and my best wishes for your success in formulating strategies, doing research, and setting examples for the rest of the world to follow. So again, the presentation that was given here was very, very informative. It talked about the gaps that need to be addressed. It talked about the new technology that we must harness. And most importantly, once these solutions are formed, it is up to the state and the central governments to provide the necessary resources for the implementation of the solutions that our scientists here will come up with. So my best wishes, हमारी शुभकामना आप लोगों को, and we look forward to very, very important and far-reaching solutions that will be provided by this collection of great and experienced minds which are here today. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughts. I'm sure your inputs given today would feed into the initiatives of the Government of India, especially in the context of soft diplomacy, as pointed out. मैं अब अनुरोध करूंगा माननीय मंत्री पर्यावरण, वन एवं जलवायु परिवर्तन मंत्रालय श्री भूपेंद्र यादव सर को कि सभा को हमारे को मार्गदर्शन दें और संबोधित करें. सर.
मेरे साथी मंत्री सम्मान्य कीर्तिवर्धन जी, विभाग के सचिव श्री तन्मय कुमार जी, डीजी फॉरेस्ट श्री सुशील अवस्थी जी, एडीजी वाइल्ड लाइफ श्री रमेश पांडे जी, यहाँ उपस्थित मंत्रालय के सभी अधिकारीगण, इंटरनेशनल बिग कैट अलायंस के डीजी श्री यादव जी, WWF के श्री रवि जी, सीनियर WII के श्री गोविंद जी, अन्य सभी प्रमुख अधिकारीगण, साइंटिस्ट, रिसर्चर और मित्रों, सबसे पहले तो मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि बिना कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के दुनिया ही नहीं होती है. इसलिए हमारा जो दृष्टिकोण है वो प्रॉब्लम ओरिएंटेड की जगह सॉल्यूशन ओरिएंटेड होनी चाहिए. अच्छा, पिछले दिनों आपने देखा होगा सर्वोच्च न्यायालय का निर्णय आया जिसमें डॉग बाइट का विषय उठा. अब कोई मुझे बता रहा था कि जितने वाइल्ड एनिमल से बाइट नहीं, उससे ज़्यादा तो सिटीज़ में ये सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आई है अनैचुरली. दूसरा, जब एक बार मैं पार्लियामेंट का जवाब देने गया तो मैंने कहा कि मैन एनिमल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में, इवन वाइल्ड एनिमल में भी, वाइल्ड एनिमल माने जो वाइल्ड लाइफ एक्ट के अपेंडिक्स में आएगा, वही है. वही डेफिनेशन. अब हमारे आजकल फॉरेस्ट में चर्चा चल रही है कि रेसस मकाक को लाए या ना लाए. लेके आए तो फॉरेस्ट वालों की बुखार चढ़ जाता है.
धन्यवाद सर। मैं आपको आश्वासित करना चाहूंगा कि आज की इस कार्यशाला में आपके दिए हुए मार्गदर्शन को एक मूल बुनियाद बनाते हुए ही हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। With that, I take this opportunity to thank the Honorable Minister, Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India, the Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, respected Secretary, respected Director General of Forests, ADG Wildlife, institutes of the Government of India, Director WII, MSNTCA, Director General of the International Big Cat Alliance, officers from the state government,